All right, here we are, tournament morning, 2023 Roadrunner. We're gonna fish here at Elmdale in the morning. Hopefully things go well. If they don't, have a backup location, but I think I can catch 10 fish here today. Storms went through for the third night in a row. It looks a little, water's higher here at Elmdale. I hope that helps with the shallow bite. We're gonna start in the back of the creek and see what we can do. Let's go fishing. To start out, I was going to be fishing around wood stick-ups and laydowns, throwing a chatterbait here, and third cast. Really got hit. At first couldn't tell how big it was, and then all of a sudden I realized it and really fought to get in. This was a great start. I'd hope to get a big fish in the back of the creek here. Just a couple minutes into the tournament, it was a really good way to get going. Great start. This fish in the boat, really needed to try to get a good picture of it. As you can see, it was dark still. The camera was a little, I think the lens was a little bit wet. Had a hard time getting a super clear photo, but it was good enough to see the nose and tail and the identifier. So luckily I got that, and it's time to catch some more fish. Really stuck with the chatterbait for a while. In this section, the back end of Elmdale's got a lot of submerged brush and logs. So I was just trying to bounce the bait off of that. Caught another one pretty quick. I think on 2 or 3 casts later. This wasn't nearly as big, but when you start to feel good, when you're going to get 10 fish, and you've already got 2 in the first 10 minutes. This one was only 12 1/4. Wound up calling it later, but I was glad to have it in the boat, and it hoped it was not to be an limit by the end of the day. You see here I'm still throwing chatterbait around this wood, still trying to get deflections and ready to bite. This is going to be another smaller one that I had hoped I'd call out later, but again, glad to have it at the time. This is about to be a crazy time catching some fish. You can see Cole there in the background. We were kind of hollering back and forth a little bit. He was just complaining that he lost a fish, so, you know, that didn't make me too upset at the time.
You didn't need it. You didn't need that one.
I was about to throw up in this creek that's running in. Later I realized
you must be catching them over there. You're there a long time.
Throwing. And I'm going to catch 2 or 3 fish here, and they were all kind of nestled in that grass, and chatterbait going over the top just did the trick.
That's a 13 maybe? 13 and a half. No. This will be 4.
So you can see I'm kind of getting right back in this creek. Going to catch one here, and then I think I'm going to catch another on the subsequent cast. So early on for me, the chatterbait was the key. Was just going to throw that until it stopped working.
I got those 13s nailed. This may not even be that long.
Well, it wasn't the very next cast, but I think it was the second cast after that last fish. Again, I'm going along this grass edge. Don't even really know it because I can't see in the water right now. But the chatterbait was just getting bites right as I would get over that point. That's kind of when they'd grab it. All right, as you can see here, it's dead calm. It's like glass out there, so I had to put away the chatterbait and started to try swim bait a little bit through the white. Didn't get anything, so more of a brim color. Uh, just really felt like needed to go more subtle with the wind being as calm as it was at this point. I really kind of struggled out in the middle of the flat. I'd caught some pre-fishing there and spent a lot of time fishing kind of mid-morning. Finally, I get one bite here, kind of back on the chatterbait, but I'd really depended on this producing some fish for me, and it just didn't. So this is gonna be our only fish catch out of this section. I was really tempted not to even measure this fish because I could tell it was small, but I've had that burn me in the past, and I just think it's kind of bad karma. So even though I'm hoping I'm not going to use this 11.5 down the road, I definitely measured. Right here, this was kind of right before this cast. I had pegged that dock and made a really loud noise, so I wasn't very optimistic making this next cast, but just kind of slow rolling it along those floats. Hoping there was something under there. Sure enough, bit the swim jig, and this was a good one. Really needed this after some small dinks. It had gotten really tough. Wouldn't give me more bites, and so I decided to change it up. I'm pulling out a Yum ribbon tail worm. Going to put that on, throw a little bit of Texas rig around this brush, see if that generates anything. This is actually a kind of a tequila sunrise color that I had never really fished with, but it came in a recent Bank and Creek kit. So I pulled it out and brought it with me to the lake and rigged it up with a 3/8 ounce slip sinker, and I think I'll catch a fish here on the very first cast, which was encouraging. You see me pause here because I think I feel the bite. Yeah, and there it is. So first cast with the worm, I felt like maybe I was onto something. It wasn't a big fish, but after not getting bit for a while, certainly was encouraging. kept fishing this Texas rig, and it kept generating bites. Just kind of pulling along the bottom. Couldn't get bit on a moving bait. So stuck with this. Felt like if I caught enough fish, maybe I would find a couple of the right ones. This one here, I think I dragged this over a log, and right as it dropped on the other side, that's when it bit. This is kind of a bad deal here. Had braid tied to a leader, so in my worm rod, and got a little aggressive with the cast, so everything got backlash, and I'm sitting there picking it out. The good thing about braid is it's usually pretty easy to get undone. So I got it all cleared out. The problem was, I guess I'd been dead sticking my worm right there by the yak and had a bass on it. Because I was surprised I didn't set the hook properly. That one may have helped me in the end. I'm not sure. That might have been around the 14 range or so. Hated to lose it. At this point, I'm still catching fish, but they're kind of staying small. So just recognize I'm not going to get what I need. Sticking with the Texas rig, so it's time to switch back to swim jig and ChatterBait. This is a bad situation. It's going to play out here, and it's relevant to something that happens later. But I was standing up because I've been in the kayak for a long time. I could look down and see the wood from up there. So I hooked this fish, and kind of in my transition from a standing to a seated position, I lose pressure on it. He just gets off. Hated that. Again, that might have helped me, not sure. There's another small one. I checked to see if it's going to help me. It's just not enough. It's in the 12-inch range. So after double checking that, I'm gonna send it back, and we're gonna get into a situation here that goes back to what happened earlier when I was standing. I'm fishing some wood, get a really good bite on the jig. I can tell it's a big one, but I've got to make that transition to get it landed. But I was really probably overly cautious here, making sure that I kept tension on the line so I didn't lose it like I did the one earlier in the day, and kind of fumbled the net a little bit, but I really just was focused on keeping that fish pinned until I could eventually get it. So this was a really big fish. I needed this. It's what I've been waiting on all morning. And when I got this one, I felt like, okay, I might be able to put together a pretty good limit. Take a lot of time here with this in the photo. You don't want to mess something like this up because this picture is really important. Usually I'll take a quick picture and then I'll try to make sure that I get one that's a little more usable, and I end up with a pretty good one there. I was trying to even work it a little bit more, and finally said, hey, I'm tired of this. So luckily I'd already gotten the photo, and I was in good shape. I was verifying it there, so all good. At this point of the day, I was really just kind of trying to upgrade, catch a big fish. I was still in a 6-inch mag draft swim bait. I'd caught a couple in pre-fishing on that, so just hoping for a big bite, going around the shallow flooded vegetation. Got a bite here that actually mattered because this was a call. It wasn't a big one, but I think it winds up being a 14, and so that was good here within the last hour. So that fish helped me, and I really only caught one other relevant fish the rest of the day. My cameras died before I did. Around 2:30, I caught a 14.5 on a jig off a log. That really helped put a capper on a fun day, catching lots of fish on Elmdale. Finished 5th out of 55 with 151.5 for my best 10. A lot of fun. Thanks for watching.